Firstly, I want to thank all of you who have watched last week's video and subscribed. Thank you so much for supporting that video. It obviously had a chord with a lot of you, and I'm genuinely happy if it did help someone. We talked about clutter and its effect on our mental health, how our brains crave order. It keeps our stress hormones lowered and our brains feel safe as a result. By making it a priority to keep our homes decluttered, we are actually practicing a form of true self-care, which is the most important work we can do for ourselves and our relationships. Please understand that I am no expert in this field, but life experience speaks just as loud sometimes as expertise. I'm just an ordinary person like you who is trying to not let my life be consumed with things that really don't matter. One of the things I do know is that all of this stuff that we bring into our homes can either be a burden or a joy to own, but that none of it can go with us when we depart from this world. So why do we hold on to the stuff that is such a heavy burden? My bedroom has looked like this for months now. I changed rooms with my daughter as I wasn't sleeping well with the noise from the neighbours, and everything just got dumped in here. And then the days and weeks have gone by and my eyes have almost blinkered the chaos that I'm waking up to every morning. And like when you get a haircut after a long time and you think, why didn't I do this sooner? My thoughts were exactly the same at the end of this bedroom declutter and tidy. You are your home. Take care of yourself. I love an impactful quote, and this one really spoke to me. You know, as partners and friends and parents, especially as mothers and women, we give so much time and nurturing to our children, our families, our homes, our workplaces. But what are we filling our own cups with? What important work are we investing in ourselves so that we are spilling over with energy and inspiration and joy, peace and rest in our minds? Why do we not think we are worthy of these things? Because I am, and you are. One of the things that has really hit home for me in recent years is that I am the only one in charge of taking care of myself. I am the only one who is going to look after myself. And I don't mean this in a negative way. Even if you have wonderful, supportive people around you, loving, caring partners, family and friends, you are still ultimately the only one who can know and do the important work to take care of yourself. It's about understanding that you are of value, placing that value on yourself, and taking ownership of it. So what actually is the most important work, and what does it look like? What fills you up rather than depleting you? Self-care often gets depicted as a hot soapy bubble bath with candles all around and a chilled glass of white wine sitting on the bamboo bath caddy. And don't get me wrong, this is such a beautiful pampering treat that I love to do when there is time. The important self-care work has to start with meeting basic physical needs first. These are so fundamental to get right, as they are the building blocks on which other important work is built on. We are talking about moving our bodies in a positive way on a regular basis and getting lots of fresh air. There is a saying that goes, if you want to receive energy, then you have to expend energy. And it's so true. Whenever I'm about to go for a run or take the dog out for a brisk walk, my brain is always telling me before I get out the door, Kate, you can just go out tomorrow, or it's too cold, or "Oh, you're too tired, Kate." But as soon as I'm outside and moving, and especially for the rest of the day after I've run, the good, happy endorphin hormones kick in and I feel energized. Blessing our bodies with wholesome, home-cooked meals, foods that nourish us, and drinking enough water are also important basic needs. We need to be very intentional with what we are fueling our bodies with. But this does take planning and organisation. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, as the saying goes. And of course, we can't forget to mention sleep. Sleep deprivation has been used as a method of torture in time gone by, you know. Good quality and enough sleep. It's so important. It is when your brain and body can rest, heal, and rejuvenate for the coming day. Be intentional about getting off devices and creating opportunity for enough sleep. Another important aspect of self-care is asking yourself, do I feel safe and secure and in control of the things I want to feel in control of? This question is related to the order that our brains crave, so that at a basic level, our brains feel safe. Things like, do I feel safe in my home? Do I have a budget plan so I have the ability and resources to pay my bills? Do I have good, solid support networks around me for when life is chaotic or overwhelming? Do I have access to services so I can take care of my mental health? And being able to identify the things in your life that make you feel safe and secure. Decluttering would be one of these things, as it brings harmony and order and peace, which in turn helps your brain to feel safe. You can breathe in your own home. One of my cherished and loved family members is having some mental health help at the moment, and the counsellor spoke about grounding. This is where you identify the things you like to do that bring calmness and peace and joy to your nervous system and help you to feel less anxious. For my family member, this looks like going out on his skateboard, swinging on the park swings, doing was-jig puzzles, and having a long hug. But for others, it might look like reading your Bible, spending time in the garden, or having animals around to pet, in which the relationship is very therapeutic. This is the important work of self-care. Relationships and a feeling of connection are also an important part of self-care. We all crave to feel a sense of belonging and community, to feel like we are contributing and feeding into healthy, positive relationships, but also that we have great family, friends, and partners who are nurturing, accepting, and valuing us as a person as well. And by this I mean real face-to-face relationships with a tangible person who you can have in the least a two-way conversation with. There is a place for using the internet to get inspiration, ideas, or wisdom from, but this should never mean you isolate yourself so that you don't have real relationships that will meaningfully fill your cup. When we take physical clutter out of our homes, we make room for meaningful relationships to flourish as the chaos, both physically and mentally, has lessened. Go and find your community, your people. They are out there. Having a spiritual connection is also very important for many people, including myself. This will look different for each person, but I know for me, I find it quite comforting to believe that there is something bigger than me, that I can hold hope in, and who is working for my favour and blessings amongst the everyday ups and downs of life. And this last important self-care principle is valuing who you are what you can contribute, and making room for personal growth. We all need to wake up each morning and feel like we have purpose for our day and life. This is why people who retire either thrive or fall into depression at some level. Our identities, confidence, and self-esteem are made up of so many aspects, including achievements, helping others, having meaningful purpose and relationships, using our talents and passions to their full ability, and doing things that empower us. And a lot of the time, we need to do things that are hard, are new, and stretch and scare us. This is the uncharted territory where we grow. It's something to be celebrated and proud of. As we spoke about in my last video, decluttering paves the way to open your brain to creativity, inspiration, and growth. You are worth that. So go into this week doing something for yourself that is true self-care, even if it is just one of the basic building blocks, like getting out of the house and walking, or choosing water over fizzy drink, or accepting the invitation out for coffee instead of isolating yourself at home. Have a super blessed week, everyone.